Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome. So we're at a point where we've added a, let me click add here. Actually, let's just use the edit side because then we have some content to work with. All right, so we have this rich text editor here, and what we want to do is add images. Now, the problem, like I mentioned in the previous video, is that if we add images here, the image is converted to a base 64 kind of image. So which means if somebody uploads a 1 megabyte image, we have no way of controlling that because it will just be part of the content, and we don't want that. So what we really want is to be able to extract every single image that was put in here and instead save them on the hard drive, and then just put a link within the content itself to that image. So instead of the actual image data being part of the content, we will extract that and save it on the hard drive. Okay, so that will cause a few more problems once we do that, but we're going to solve all of them one by one. So we start simply by just adding an image and seeing what we actually get. Excuse me here. So what I want to do is, let me click here to add an image so that we have something to work with. So I'm going to grab one of these. Now, I don't want an image that's really huge, because the less data I have to work with, the better. So I'm just looking for something smaller. I think I saw 116 here. Yeah, this one right there. So let me open that. So there it is, and I'll just put it at 25% so that we can see that it's part of the content. Okie dokie. Now we're going to put 2 images instead. That way we know that this system works for 2 images or more. So let me click again, and let's go ahead and let me look for this one. This one is even smaller. That's better in file size, that is. All right, pretty cool. Now we have these images here, which means if we click on the code itself, you will see that it's encoded into base 64 as you would expect, and it's pasted right into the content, and it's a lot of data because this is 100 kilobytes. So that's quite an amount of text there, because kilo is like 1,000, so let's say like 100,000 bytes, which is insane. Okay, so now if you notice here, this is what is going on. So I wanted you to see this part right there. So that's image source, and then there are styles here. This is an image tag, but the source is written like this. There's data, there's image over there. This is the data format, so image JPEG. If this was a PNG, you'd see here image PNG, and then it says base 64 and a comma over here. So this is the hint in how it's been encoded, and it's base 64. So what we need, the actual data starts from here. So everything here is not the actual data, that's just information. So after the comma, this here is the actual image. So it goes all the way down here, and at the very end, I want you to see something down here at the very end. So let's keep going and see how long that takes. That's quite the amount of data. So all that in your database is really quite a waste. So right at the end here, you will see there's more data. So it ends over here in the source tag, and then there's data file name, and it actually gives us the original file name of this image up to there, and that's where it closes up. So all that is information we can extract. So the first thing is first, we need to know how to extract this content from the data. Now, it's better to create a class that does this, because when you create classes, it's easy to move them from project to project rather than just having functions, because there could be like 4 or 5 functions we are going to need in order to keep this a smooth flow. So it's better to keep them in one class. So I'm going to go ahead and open the container here, the containing folder. So I'll say open folder for our project. And the reason is I want to open up the command prompt in that folder, because I want to run that thunderPHP tool that we have, because I want to create a class in this where is this? In this plugin. So this is the basic pages plugin right here. So in here I want to create a class. There are models already here. There's one page model, but I think this one we're going to call it the content model or something. Now that's up to you what you want to call it. So I'm going to say PHP Thunder, and I'm going to say make. Since we're making something, we're going to make a model, and the folder is pages. It's actually basic pages, like that. And then we're going to call it content, singular. Sorry about that. Content, like so. Enter. And there we go. And as you can see on this side, you saw a file being created, which is awesomeness. So it's inside the basic pages namespace, and we're using model for this. So everything is all good here. That's awesome. Now I'm going to go ahead and change a few things. Now this one, we're not going to be accessing the database with this particular model, but you can leave these in there as you wish. But these are the functions we don't need actually. So I'm just going to rename these guys to functions we actually need. So just one will do. Let me delete these others. And I'm going to change it. So this one is content, and then we're going to say something, a function like remove images. Oh, I don't know what you're going to call this. Maybe process images or extract images. That sounds much better, right? Extract images, like so. Now it's up to you with this naming convention of functions. I like to use the underscore like this, but you can do it like this, you know, camel case where you say extract images, but just make sure whatever format you choose, that's what you stick with. It's unfortunate that in some cases I use that, in some cases I use that. That's very disorganized. So just do better than me and use one format once you decide what you want to use. It's always just better that way. Okay, so we say extract images, right? And what we expect here is a string. So I'm going to say string like that. We expect a string of content. So content there, like so. What we are returning is definitely not a boolean, but a string. So we're going to return a string. Now you don't have to do these things, especially if you don't have access to PHP 8. Maybe your hosting provider doesn't provide PHP 8, then you may need to remove some of these, because these things, it may not recognize them, because some of them were introduced in PHP 8. Alright, so let's say extract images like that. So we get content and then we return content. Alright, so we get a string of content and we return the same, but in the middle here we're going to do some modifications, extract the images and save them. So the first thing first is we have to extract only the images from the content. So in order to do that, we're going to need to run regular expressions. Now I had started a series on regular expressions, but I don't know, I just gave up in the middle of it. So you can check out my playlist. There's an introduction there, I guess. I think I went far enough for you to be able to do stuff. I just didn't go very deep in it because, I don't know, maybe the series didn't get enough attention. I don't even remember at this point, but I just know that I didn't finish it, unfortunately. So you can watch a bit of that. But I want to collect images. Actually, we don't do it like this. We just say preg match like that. So every function that starts with preg is just a regular expression, right? This part stands for regular expression. I'm not sure what this P is. I used to know it, but I don't remember now. So I'm going to say preg match all because there's two. Preg match will match just one result and exit, but preg match all is like global and it's going to do all the matching. It's going to match as many as possible patterns that it gets. So for those that don't know regular expression, this is a way to search for things using a pattern instead of searching using text. So in here, so I can give you an example. For example, let's say normal searching, when you're searching for a specific text in a document, for example, you're going to tell it to find a word, let's say people, or let's say it's job. You want to look for the text job like that. So you're going to enter this text and say job. But what if it will find this without a problem? But what if you want to search, you're not really sure if it was job or jab like this? You're not sure which one it is. So in this situation, a regex would work where a normal search wouldn't, because in a normal search, you'd have to search first for this one and then do an entirely new search for this one, because you can't tell it to say, if it has O or A, that's okay. But with regex, you can actually do that. You can tell it to search for like this. You can make a regex like so. So instead of searching for this and that, it can search like this. In this situation, it will say, okay, if it's O or A, but it has J and B at the end, that's fine. It's gonna find both these results. So in this case, this is exactly what we need, because we're not going to be sure what the contents of the image are. We just want to follow a specific pattern. So here, for example, we know the pattern here is going to be always the same. There's going to be a bunch of text in here which represents the actual image. Then there's going to be this part here that says data, file name, as we have seen. And then at the top there, we're going to have something like base64, and then source is equal to. Okay. So in this case, what we want to search for is any image tag like this. I want to search for an entire image tag in here. So I'm going to copy all of this. And let's come back here. I want to use this as an example. So new file, and I'm going to paste like that. Okay. Goody. So the image tag is here. Now it goes all the way here on the side like so, up to the very end here. So I just want to be able to use regex to select that. So I'm going to press Ctrl F. Now this is possible because I'm using Sublime Text. It has a regex finder here. So if you press Ctrl F, you see down at the bottom here, there's this regular expression toggle button. So just make sure you click that and it's active. That way you are searching for regex. Now, if you don't have access to Sublime Text or using a very different text editor, that's okay. You can just go online. There's regex101.com like this, and you can do exactly what I'm doing with that. Just paste your data here. You insert your data. Actually, maybe we might just do it from here. I think it's easier to see. So this is a very good tool because it will actually explain your regex over here. But remember that these slashes here, GM, you have to include them in your final thing, /GM there. Actually, in our case, we don't, because PregMatchO actually adds the /GM like that, which just means global. I'm not sure what the M means anymore. I'm losing my touch here. Anyway, what I want us to do is search for a specific pattern, which is the image. It's like that. So that's IMG, as you can see, and it has actually selected it. It's found it there. But I wanted to select the entire tag. So what I'm going to tell it is image, right? And then if I wanted to, I can say a space. That's how you write a space, like that. Now if there are many spaces, you can put a plus to say as many spaces as possible. And then if I want, I can follow this pattern. Style is equal to blah blah blah. But instead of all this, what I want is for it to find the next closing bracket of this one. I'll tell it select everything except a closing bracket. So in this case, I would do this and put square braces like that, and put a caret inside, and then put a closing tag like so, and then put a slash there like that. I'm just trying to escape this just to make sure that it's considered a normal string. I don't know if I need to do that, but it seems I really don't. So now I need to put plus here to say as many as possible. So it may be confusing a little bit if you don't know regex, but this is what you need to type. So this says find me the text that starts like this, and then select everything until up to where you find that closing tag. So if we scroll down, you see this blue now right here. So here it explains what is this. Image matches the character, literal character, case sensitive, okay, and then matches single character not present in the list below, which is this one. Okay, cool. So, and then yeah, the plus says match. This is a greedy, they call it a greedy thing, because a greedy symbol, because it's going to match as many as possible as it can until it finds the condition you gave it. So if I go down here, you will see, let's just make sure that it selected everything in the image except what we don't want. And as you can see clearly, it went all the way up to there and JPEG with that there. So that seems like exactly what we want. It stopped right there after, just before the closing bracket. Cool. So that's our regex right there. So we're just gonna copy it. Anyway, no need to copy it, it's very small. I can just retype it, and the caret, wait, sorry, and then the closing bracket, close like that, and that is good. Okay, now preg match all will match everything, and then matches will be sent to this variable, and then the subject here is the content, what we are searching in, and then all matches will be inside this variable right there. So we don't need to do preg match equals, no, because that will just return true or false whether it found something or not. So once we have that, okay, we just have to make sure that matches 0 is an array, because it's going to return an array. But actually, instead of telling you what it returns, let's just see it ourselves. So I'm gonna do this like that. Okay, that way we see something. So let's use this class immediately. So I'm gonna go to controllers here, and this is the edit controller, since we're dealing with the edit page, and I want to see what it gives us. So before any of this is done, and let's see here, I don't want it to update anything, so just up to here I'm going to evoke our model. So I'm going to say content is equal to new, and this is basic pages, that's our class there, and then content like that, capital C, and then here I'm going to say die like that so that it doesn't go any further, and I'll say content, and extract images is the folder we've created, or sorry, the function we created. And then in here I just want to put the content. So in our situation, what is the content code? Let me go to views, and where is this, admin, and edit. I don't remember what the text area is code, so let me just give it a quick check over here. Why am I looking when I can just search? There we go. So name content. Okay, cool. So it's actually called content. So there it is, inside post data content. That's what I'm going to supply here. What have I done? Okay, there we go. So So once we run that function, of course, it's going to just do that, echo that for us. Okay, cool. So let's go back. I'm over here. Let's leave this code view. And there's 2 images in here, so we expect 2 results. All right, so let me do a post. Oh, this is the thing here. This uses Ajax request, right? Interesting. I didn't want it to use an Ajax request, but it's too late now. Yeah, the reason is because now we have to look at things from the console. I don't like that, but that's fine, I guess. We can still look at things from the console. Let me hit save and see what happens. Yeah, so there we go. We see the result here. So this is what we got. So it gave us this, which doesn't seem to be anything really. It's just image. At least it got 2 things, right? But where is the actual content? That doesn't look right. Okay, so we missed something. So let me get back here and oh, as you can see, this is colored differently. So actually I have to escape it maybe. Let me see that. Oh, no. Actually, that's not the reason. The reason is I forgot the plus here to make it greedy. Okay, and collect everything. So let's try that again. I'm going to clear the console and hit save. Right. It says please wait while we upload. Okay, that sucks. Unfortunately, I have to redo these things. Okay. But not too much. Let me go to edit here. What I need to do is remove that. I should remember to remove this. Please wait while we upload. So I want this to not work anymore because it stops me from clicking upload if things didn't go well again. Wait a second. Actually, I can solve that problem permanently by page.uploading is equal to false. Should be added here after ready state is equal to 4. And then we say page.uploading is equal to false. In fact, this should be the first thing that we do up there. Okay, cool. Whether the result was good or not, we should say that uploading is false now. Okay, cool. Right, so now I have to refresh my page, unfortunately, to have that JavaScript work. And let me add more images here. Another image, since now we have no images in here. So I'm going to add exactly what I did. First of all, 25%. Let me go here and add another image. At least we have 2. And this one is this one. Also 25%. Okay, so back to our console to see the result. And let me hit save again. Alright, good. We are on to something. So now you can see there's an array and there's image and source and it showed everything, but the data is too much. The console isn't showing everything, but if I click down here, it will show me both of them, I guess. Let me see. Yeah, it's quite a lot of data. So let me go ahead. Ooh, it's quite an amount. Yeah, somewhere in there's a second version of this. We're just missing it. There's 0 here and there's 1 there, so that's good. But what I want to do is now loop through these guys and just grab the source from here.